Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. We are going to discuss about a very important issue related to those Pakistanis or those people who have been, in fact, trying to go abroad for different purposes, especially those people who were seeking jobs in Middle East as well as rest of the world. Uh, FIA, there have been reports that the FIA have been onboarding the passengers from the different flights. Even their immigration process were not being cleared in time. And there are a lot of other issues that the people are facing at the airports because of the immigration issues. Today, we have seen that the Interior Minister and the Federal Minister for Human Resource Development, they held a meeting, and various issues regarding this problem was taken up between the two federal ministers. And let us see that what the Interior Ministry is going to take a decision regarding that. I have a guest with me, Mr. Issam Baig. He's a chief executive officer of John Muhammad and Sons, a company which was established in 1943, before even creation of our beloved Pakistan. They have been serving for a long time, more than 8 decades. And my best friend, may God rest his soul in peace, Mr.
Um,
Anwar Baig, former senator, he was also associated for a long time with this business. They have been officially, properly, legally sending Pakistani youth and the young people, the professionals, to Middle East for the job, and naturally they have been supporting their country as well as the families. So thank you very much, Mr. Assam, for joining me. Kindly first tell me that, then we'll be coming to the other issues, that what kind of a discussions were held between the two federal ministers, and how this issue is going to be. Do you think that it would be addressed according to your desires and the desires of the people who are being, affected by this policy?
Thank you, Waisab. Thank you very much for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be here. Waisab, the most important thing which you mentioned right now is the offloading of passengers or workers' employment on visas, going on employment visas from various Pakistan airports. Now, I just want to clarify one thing here. First of all, they had a meeting. The two ministers, the Ministry of HRD and the Minister of Interior, held a meeting this evening in Islamabad, and I'll go through that as well. But I'll just want to tell you or your audience that what is the actual issue. The issue is that once the candidate or once the passenger or the worker is going to the Middle East or anywhere in the world for seeking employment, he has to properly follow the procedures of Government of Pakistan laid by the Bureau of Immigration, which is to get the protectorate done. Now, to do the protector, there is a whole prerequisite involved in it. It is not me and you can walk into the protector's office and get our visa stamped, provided we have a visa in hand. Not at all. There are due checks and balances which the Bureau of Immigration and Ministry of Foreign Affairs does from the host country, wherever the visas is being issued at. Example, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, or even to European countries. Now, in the recent past, what we've seen is that the FIA officials are offloading these workers on very flimsy grounds. For example, I saw this video which is circulating in the social media regarding a driver being offloaded, and then he was tested later on and he did not know driving. Fair enough. We've got a point here. But let me just clarify here one thing, that FIA does not have the jurisdiction to stop a passenger provided he or his or her protector is done on the passport. This is the job of Ministry of Overseas and Manpower, which they have duly done. Now the host country does not want a driving license on a driver visa. Hence the visa were issued. Right? I'm just giving an example, a very small example on this, which is circulating in the social media. But having said that, leave alone this driver issue. There were other immigrants, workers, employment visas which were stopped. Now, when I spoke to the Ministry of HRD and I spoke to our Honorable Minister, Mr. Chaudhry Saleh Hussain, He mentioned that in the meeting there were concerns of visit visas, visitors being offloaded. That has nothing to do with employment visas. That has nothing to do with the Ministry of Bureau of Immigration or Ministry of HRD. So there were two aspects. One is the workers being migrated on employment visas. Henceforth, the interior minister, has taken a stern action and have promised the minister as well. But the issue is that the workers who are being offloaded with protector stamp is unjustifiable, right? Because there's a due diligence. I, being an overseas employment promoter, what do I have to do? I just don't get the visa. I have to get all the prerequisites done, which is once the demand is received by us, it has to go through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the missions in that specific host country. They attest those papers, and once that is done, then the Bureau of Immigration allows us to get the protector done. So it's a whole process. Legal migration, this is called legal migration, what we are doing. So this is a whole process, and I think it is very unfortunate for these workers to be offloaded on those grounds. Visit visas are totally different, which I'm not aware of, but yes, the majority of them were visit visas as well. But the employment visas
Sorry,
was a
can you
restriction.
can you can you just share the number of the labor visas passengers they were being uploaded maybe last 1 month or a couple of months since this they have started
Unfortunately,
this drive?
Unfortunately, Saab, I don't have that figure, but
Okay.
I have experienced it myself as well as an agency. But then again, I have my means. I could talk to the FIA. My team was on ground, so they did not stop us. And keeping our track record, they did not. But there was a majority of other agencies where the candidates were stopped on flimsy grounds. Driver issue is totally different. Again, fair enough if he did not know how to drive. Again, it is the host country's responsibility, not ours. Provided we have all the legal documents are done, FIA has no jurisdiction to do it. But then again, I think they are now working on something where the TORs are being settled with both the secretaries. See, eventually, what is Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Interior, and HRD is doing? We need to promote manpower, but we need to promote in a proper manner so that there is no embarrassment for the country, for Pakistan as a whole. So
So where
this
is
is
the
what the
problem
board.
in fact? Where is the problem? Because there have been reports that people go on a Umrah visa, or maybe now naturally the Saudis they also issue a visit visa. In fact, so they go there and then they disappear. They cross the time limit of the visa, and then they are most of them. There's a lot of jokes about it that they go for a Umrah and then they disappear and they start begging over there. So do you think
Yes.
that that kind of a thing can create a problem for the legal travelers as well?
Absolutely, absolutely spot on, Vaitsab. This is a genuine issue by the Middle Eastern countries, majority of them, that when candidates come here or the workers come here, it's not the workers. See, these begging issue, 99% are people who are traveling on visit visas,
Okay.
not on employment visas. But having said that, what you rightly said, that this is affecting our employment generation as well for overseas, because see, they see Pakistan as a whole, right? It is not only visit visas or work visas. So when Pakistanis come here and they start begging in the UAE or in Saudi or they overstay, majority of them, 99%, and this is the stats which I'm talking about, are on visit visas, not on employment visas. Because majority, these
So how
guys, when they
many
come here.
how many employment visas travelers were being onboarded by these immigration people officials at the airports?
Well, they are in thousands, to be very honest with you. Maybe they were not offloaded, but they were creating hurdles. In those
Okay.
hurdles, you will miss the flight. I know that, right? Obviously, there are checks and balances, there's FIA, and then there's customs and all, but there were hurdles. We should promote these guys who are going on employment visas rather than creating hurdles in that. But having said that, again, I think candidates or workers being stopped at the airport by FIA is not acceptable. Why? Because those provided they have done the due diligence, which is the protector of immigrants, which is the government of Pakistan stamp. on their passport. That means Issam Baig, Waheed Hussain, is vetted by that institute, by the government, and he's ready to go abroad because all his visas and all are in order. Yes, they can verify the visa, not an issue. But having said that, that the driver is going and he doesn't have a license, he doesn't need a license
So
in
the
the Middle
FIA
East, by the way.
immigration people don't have the authority to stop somebody with the legal documents and the stamp that you are referring to.
They don't. You're absolutely right. It is called the protectorate stamp, which they have no right to stop. But see, as long as the visas are okay, they can check the visas, they can check. But I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to stop legal migration as well, which is wrong, right?
For
Legal
what? For
migration is
what
when,
reason? Do you think that there are certain people may not be the entire? I mean, all of the officials on the different airports, international airports, in fact, but certain people might be, demanding some money or something like that.
yes, I have heard that. I did not want to quote this, but yes, there were incidents which wherein these officials were demanding cash from these poor guys who've already paid XYZ amount to these agents, and then going and trying to get a life abroad. So they're already, so much in debt financially and mentally as well, that rather than promoting them, we are discouraging them or trying to put hurdles. But I'm just saying again that as a whole, as a nation, or only FIE, as you said, that or not all officials are doing this. But we need to make a mechanism where these candidates or these workers are swiftly flown from Pakistan, provided they have all the documents in place. And I think after this meeting, I had a word with the minister himself this evening, and I think they are trying to place some mechanism where uh, FIE does not have an issue, and the Bureau of Immigration should not also have an issue, so that the candidate is swiftly gone. The Minister of Interior, I think, also recommended that we should have more checks and balances. Agreed. I know where he's coming from, because there were a lot of cases where these, not in the Middle East, but see, we're not only talking about Middle East right now. They were candidates, people who were traveling to Europe as well, to UK as well, to Southeast Asia as well, and then well, FIA claims that they were stepping outside, except, like, example, Belarus. I got an example from them. He said they're going to Belarus, but then from there they're going somewhere else. This is what we need to stop, and fairly so. We need to stop that. But if it's under employment visa, I think fair enough. They have a point as well. But I think we need to see this where the actual problem is and identify it rather than discouraging it. We should encourage these workers to go abroad.
What about the UAE visas nowadays?
Well, still, as we speak, I think they are restricted for Pakistani nationals, even though our top officials have visited UAE as well. But there are concerns in UAE. One of them you mentioned is begging, and there were two, three other issues which I think the UAE authorities have informed the Pakistani authorities. I hope things work out, because in the UAE there's a huge market right now, and there's a huge shortfall of manpower, and I think Pakistan can play a vital role in this. But unfortunately, the visas are restricted here. Employment visas are being restricted here.
So how we can address this issue?
We need to understand what the issues are, what UAE officials are facing right now, and we need to address them. For example, if they are saying that people are involved in begging, then we need to stop them, checks and balances. But those, then again, having said that, Waheed Saab, those begging incidents are 99% people who are traveling on visit visas. So either they change their visit visa policy, because employment visa people or people who are going on employment are not involved in this. And then they had some other issues in the crime and all. Again, I think the government of Pakistan placed a police character certificate for every immigrant going abroad. So this was a very positive step for the UAE officials. Uh, every candidate who are going abroad, who wants to seek employment abroad, has to have a police character certificate showing that he's credible enough. So I think we are in the right direction, but we need to do act more. The government of Pakistan needs to act more
And I think that
and convince them.
the individual should also be honest and
Correct.
straightforward, because the character certificate that you are referring, people can buy and purchase that as well. The system
Again,
that we
yes,
have in you are right.
yes.
So what about the Saudi Arabia? Do you think that it is a big market, opening market, good for the labor market for Pakistanis, and we should be focusing on it? And what you want to see from the government perspective, how the government can facilitate.
See, Saudi Arabia is a huge market and a booming market nowadays, especially for Pakistani manpower. Now we have a slight edge being a Muslim country. A lot of projects are going on in Haram area. Now they need Muslims over there. The only hurdle which we are facing is trained manpower. They are not stopping Pakistani manpower. In fact, we are the highest number right now. If I'm not correct, till date, I think it's 700,000 people till date in this year have gone, which has risen drastically from last year. I think it's a 20-30% increase, which is a very good point and a very encouraging point. But we need to send skilled manpower. When I say skilled, I talk about trained manpower. Now, see, Saudi Arabia is also changing. It's becoming a global hub for in the Middle East or in the world. As you know, they need skilled man. Gone were the days that we are just sending laborers there, and all the market, the standards of construction, the standard of hospitality has increased drastically over there. There are a lot of Westerners coming in. So if we do our trainings properly, and when I say trainings, I say mental training, I say skill training, attitude wise, aptitude wise, uh,
Mm.
from day one, as soon as they enter Jeddah, Riyadh airport or any Saudi airport, how are they to be behaved? Unfortunately, they are wearing shalwar kameez, and everyone knows that they are from Pakistan, but their manner or the way they are presenting themselves is not the way we should expect. They are expecting. So again,
So
aptitude and skill wise.
who is going to train them? How they are going to be
Well,
trained?
there are multiple organizations in Pakistan. There's the biggest is Pakistan Prime Minister's Youth Fund. There's NAFTEC, National Vocational Training Center. If they get serious and if they want to do it, they have loads of funds available from the
No,
government
but
of
how they are
Pakistan.
going? Are they going to? Since you guys, naturally your company, it has a procedure. They send people after giving them a proper training for whatever
Correct.
kind of a job they are going to do there. But I'm talking about the other agencies which are working, which are exporting manpower to the other countries. Do you think? Do you agree with that? They don't have that. Expertise to train the people and send them.
No, I don't think so. I don't agree on that. There are very good agencies in Pakistan as well, and they're doing a wonderful job. But see, we as private businessmen, we can do limited. We have limited
Okay.
resources. But if the government of Pakistan, or if the government or the authorities encourage us or fund us in some kind of trainings, I think we can touch the sky. We can improve the quality. As it is, we are sending workers. But if we are sending quality manpower, trust me, they will not go to India or to Bangladesh or to anywhere.
What role the Human Resource Development Ministry can play in this kind of a proposal?
Well, I personally feel I think I've been monitoring them over the past 10 years, and I think this tenure of the ministry is an exemplary where they're all active and at least they're listening to the OEPs, their problems, and they're representing them. In the past, they were not so proactive. So, being very fair, they're doing a wonderful job. Not because it's my ministry, I have nothing to do with it. I'm a businessman, but they're doing a wonderful job in that way. They're promoting manpower. They're helping us. They're helping me, genuinely
No,
helping me
then
wherever I get holiday.
why they don't tell the people when they are leaving Pakistan that okay, you I mean wear your national dress inside Pakistan, but when you are going internationally, traveling other countries, you must be in a proper dress, you must be behaving in a proper manner, you must have a good attitude with your employer. So why they don't tell them?
Well, up, there are some issues with us in the DNA as well. I'll be very honest with you. The ministry has a training program, and they go through that training program for a day. In a day, we cannot expect that we can, teach them the stars. No, we cannot do that, right? But the ministry tried to implement a digital test, which failed because these candidates are not that technologically savage that they can do it. Now, uh, I would say they're talking to us as well for the training part. I totally agree with you. But see, people who are going abroad are not from Islamabad or Rawalpindi or Lahore. They're from far-flung areas of Pakistan. Okay, from Banu,
Well,
from
do
South
you think that
Waziristan.
before, let us say that today they have a flight departure, they should be called maybe a 1 week before departure, and there they should be given a kind of a 7 days, a rigorous kind of instructions, especially how they are going to reach over there, how they are going to behave, what kind of dress they are going to wear. We can do that in 7 days, isn't it?
We can surely do it. This is a Philippines model, as you mentioned rightly, because this is what Philippines does. All expats, before going, it's a 1 month, not even 7 days. It's a
Okay.
1 month compulsory training in the Philippines, and whether the employer likes it or not, this is the time frame. What we have done as OEPs or as overseas promoters, that as soon as the visas are here, we put their protector done and we fly them away because the client is looking for it. But if there is a bar from the government of Pakistan that no, after 7 days of training, they will be given protectorate, the companies will understand. Aren't they recruiting from Philippines or from India? They are, right, but they have to follow the process. Unfortunately, in our case, it was not being implemented the way it should be. Because see, in 1 day or in 3 to 4 hours, I cannot teach, or the government of Pakistan or the protector cannot teach him how to behave, how to, how what I cannot change his attitude. Maybe his skill level is up to the mark, fair enough, but I think the biggest problem right now what we are facing is the attitude, and this is what we as a company are doing. So we train them for 1 month. We understand their training, that we understand the aptitude, their attitude, and if we find that this guy is going to do any hanky panky over there, we rather stop him in Pakistan rather than sending him abroad. But again, I think there are challenges, but it can be done. And I think the ministry is already talking on these terms with with potential OEPs like us, that how to train these guys, and just to give them a soft image about Pakistan, just to make them understand that you all are ambassadors of Pakistan now. Khalas, as soon as you leave the airport, you all are ambassadors of Pakistan. They will be judging you as Pakistani, but rightly so. We should do that.
Finally, what you're expecting from the Interior Ministry and the minister, because a couple of days back we have seen that he visited one of the airports and he interacted with the immigration officials, and naturally that may be because of there are a lot of news coming on the social media, onboarding the people and the people who are facing a lot of issues. So any message that you want to convey?
I think both the ministries have a very clear viewpoint, which is a positive way. I do understand where FIA or the Ministry of Immigration, when the Ministry of Interior is coming from, that they are okay, fair enough. There are some bad officials, but at the same time, overall, the minister is what is trying to do is to improve the image of Pakistani manpower, and by doing that, by stopping them, ठीक है वो driver एक incident that happened, fair enough, but overall I think they are both working in the best interests of Pakistan. Obviously the ministry does not want, or the interior minister does not want the remittance to come down or the workers not going abroad. Fair, I'm sure they want, even vice versa for the minister of HRD. But I think a collective manner, but in a proper manner, where I think now the both the secretaries, I spoke to the secretary as well, and both the secretaries are meeting next week to finalize the TORs, so that it's moving forward, it's all smooth sailing, and there are no ifs and buts about it. So we as OEPs have to follow that. passengers, employers, workers have to follow that procedure. So I think the meeting ended in a positive way, and I've taken this whole incident in a very positive manner at the same time, provided there is substantial evidence that this document is fake, or he is not going as a worker or anything of that sort. But stopping normal candidates with employment visas and all, I think that's absurd. You should not do that.
And that's going to affect the country as well. Thank you very much,
For sure.
Mr. Baig, CEO of John Muhammad and Sons, for giving your input and a lot of suggestions for the government as well as for the people who are interested to go into the Eastern countries and seek a good future. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much, Mr. Wade.